Wagwan beautiful people, I am Chef B. If you're new to this channel, welcome Wagwan. Make sure you're subscribed down below. So we're about to do a quick weave install, and I'm using hair from BetterLength.com, and we'll be using a 3A 3B curly texture. I went ahead and used 3 bundles of this hair in 2 20-inch and 1 18-inch. Now I wanted this hair to be black, not super jet black, but a natural black, so I did dye the hair black, and then I went in with that silicone mix to soften the hair. It gives it a really nice conditioning, and girl, the texture and the softening of the curls, amazing. Now you're probably confused about my hair right now, but I was giving my hair a little test run because I'm trying to see if I really want to go back black. So I did dye my leave out, and then I realized that, you know what, I'm just gonna dye my whole hair black later on. But for right now, I don't know if I was ready to give up the ginger totally. Like, it looks kind of crazy, but it's just the leave out that I dyed. So I'm going to be doing a side part and not a flip over method for this style. Like, I had this inspiration for this look, and yeah, the flip over just wasn't going to do it for me. We needed to do a nice deep side part. So I'm just going to braid down my hair. Already braid away my leave out, then I did braid down the rest of my hair, and I just cut the end of that extension. It looks crazy, but it's okay as long as it's flat enough. And then I'm gonna go in and sew it down with my needle and thread to make sure that everything is nice and flat. This is for all my girlies that, you know, we're not a professional, but we know what we're doing. We can do a little something, and this is my little something, because, you know, I'm gonna get you right so that you can do your hair like a professional as well. So now that everything is nice and flat, it is time to do our install. So I'll be using 2 wig cap for this. A lot of people use the paper on the inside, and that works perfectly fine too. I just felt like it was gonna be too much work because I'm doing this by myself, like how to like lay it down properly so I could get it, you know, like all over my head. Like, I needed at least 4 hands for that. So I just went in with 2 caps instead. So this 2 cap is going to give me enough protection that I need, and then I'm going to go in with my needle and thread to sew my cap down. Like, I am one of those people who are too fearful of my wig cap lifting by just using glue, especially since all it needs is some water to lift, and I don't know if I'll be sweating or anything like that. So yeah, I need to sew down my wig cap, and I sew it down in a way that it will be easy for me to see to take down. So that is very important. You don't want to do this, you know, like randomly and just like hazard, like all over the place. You want to make sure that it's somewhere that you could see for when it's time to remove the cap. Like, I always get someone to help me, but if you're gonna do this by yourself and you're probably gonna do the takedown by yourself, it's either you have one of them 360 mirrors or you get somebody to do it, or else don't sew it down, just glue it down, and then, you know, just pray for the best. So I'm going to use this little white chalk pencil thingamajig to make sure that I could see where I need to glue down. I don't want to glue way above where I'm supposed to, so that little white thing is going to help me. And then I'm going to use my protective shield. So I use this all over my head. Like, don't be afraid to go in with that protective shield, because this is what's going to protect your hair from the glue. All you need is water when it's time to remove this. Don't like drag it off your head when you're removing your cap. After you take down the hair, use water, use a spray bottle, maybe with some conditioner in it, and the cap comes right off. No glue on your hair. Go in with this and make sure that it's dried properly before you start gluing down. Like, I go in, make sure everything is saturated, and then I go in with my blow dryer just to make sure that it is dried down well. Now this is the glue that we'll be using. You can get it at your beauty supply store, but I will leave my Amazon storefront link in my description box so that you can find this glue. Like, this glue is amazing. I mean, I say that because I really haven't used any other glue. This is my go-to glue. So I align everything, make sure that it's where I want it to lay, then I cut, and then I glue down. Now, a lot of people, they don't want to cut their weft, so they go round and round. I feel like I have way more control when I cut the weft, and because I'm doing my hair, I feel like I could do that because I would know where to lay it down if I reapply this hair. So it's okay for me, but if you're one of them people that don't want to cut your wefts, just go around like you're doing a sew-in. But at that point, I think you should just do a sew-in because there's gonna be glue on it anyway, so you can't use it for a sew down because it's gonna be filled with glue. I don't know, like everybody's preference is different, but I prefer to cut it down because I have control and I know where I cut so I could reapply it myself. So I'm just gonna keep going up, and then I'm going to show you the technique that I do to close once I reach at the top. And again, I use all 3 of my bundles. Actually, I think I had like just a little piece left. Like I really didn't have that much left. So I would say be on the safe side. Don't do less than 3 bundles. Once I reach up top, I needed to see what I'm doing. I needed control. By this time, everything is fully dried at the front. So I cut that excess lace cap. And once I saw that a little of my cornrow was showing, I just went in with some more of that protective shield and I put it directly on my hair. Like it's safe to put directly on your hair. The shield is not going to hurt or damage your hair. It's perfectly safe. Also, if I didn't mention, after every weft, I go in with my blow dryer. Like I use a blow dryer to dry it down. Now, pay attention to this part. This is where the technique comes in for where I do my little deep part. So at this point, I'm thinking I'm not going to go all the way across. I'm going to stop at where my finger is so that I have this little space right here that is going to go in the opposite direction so that my leave out will lay flat to the side. I hope you understood that. If not, just pay attention to the video or rewind or go back to where I just explained that part. So we're just gonna lay these back like this, and I also laid it in this direction so that if I wanted to flip over the other side of the hair, I could. Just pay attention to the technique. It's all in the technique. I'm telling you, like, this hair was amazing and it laid great on my trip. So I'm just testing it out to see how I wanted it to flip. And I'm like, yes, girl, this is how we want that hair to flip. So I'm just going to put on the last touches in the front. So I think I did about 2 more pieces and a very small piece coming a little bit close to my leave out. So it's going to go right at the tip of my hairline, and that's where the protective shield came in again because I put it on my hair that had a protective shield and I had no damages. Now for the last part of this technique, I'm going to cut off the cap just so I can see my cornrows to make sure that I am coming close to my cornrows when I put in my last couple of pieces. And then like you see, we're going sideways so that the hair can lay flat with my leave out. And then I go in with my blow dryer just to make sure that everything is dried down. And let me just say, I did this little technique on a whim. Like I was trying to like flip back and forth to be like, okay, how we're gonna do this, how we're gonna do this. And it turned out perfectly. So I'm just gonna cut off the excess cap in the back, and I'm playing around with the hair and I'm like, girl, yeah, we're going fully black again. Like the ginger era was so much fun, but yeah, I'm going back to black here. So now we're just gonna take out our leave out. I want to see how my parting is looking like, and make sure that you have enough hair on both sides because you want to make sure that you're covering that weft. And I wanted to see if the hair could go back. If I wanted to do a little half up, half down, the hair is pretty full. But once I style it, it was perfect. So I'm going to go in with some heat protectant. Like I'm not going to be using the wand iron to curl my hair, but I'm still going to go in with the hot comb. Like I want it to be flat. So this is the only time I use heat. I wore this hair on my last trip. and I was gone for over a week, and I did not go back in with any heat at all. This is the one time I used heat for this style, the one and done, because I just wanted it to be flat. So we're just gonna go in with that hot comb, and then later on I go in with my mini flat iron just for like my edges and also to get closer to the roots. And that was it for the heat. Now we're gonna go in with our flexi rod. So this is what's gonna give us the ultimate blend. Like, I don't know why I didn't do this with my other quick weave styles. Well, I know why, because I had to dye the hair to ginger the last couple of times I did a quick weave, so the texture of the hair changed, and then I had to like do a wand curl. But because I didn't have to change the texture of this hair by dyeing it, not dyeing it with bleach, but just regular box dye, it didn't change the texture of the hair, and it was perfect. So I'm gonna use the flexi rod with mousse. So I put mousse on my hair, and then I grab a little piece of the curly hair, and then I start wrapping on my flexi rod, and then I bend it however you wish to do it. Like, I'm not no expert at doing flexi rod. Honestly, it's one of my weakest styling points. Like, I was a little bit nervous how this was going to turn out, because I have never done 100% successful flexi rod set before, but boy was I surprised with how this turned out. So all you need is mousse, and that is it. You don't need any gel. I wouldn't advise any gel, because gel is gonna create product buildup and it's gonna weigh the hair down, and you don't want the hair to weigh down. Just use mousse. And that is why I just straightened the hair a bit before I did this, so that my hair could be, you know, at a longer length, so that it could blend better with the curly hair. And also pay attention to the size of the flexi rod. These are really small because we wanted to match the curl pattern of the hair. So you see that blue one that I had in the front? Later on, I actually changed it like a day later, because I realized it was a little bit too big. I needed it to be the same size of those orange and yellow ones. So get you some small flexi rods. I'm just gonna go in with some water for detangling the hair and also to define the curls. Now, I did use this purple mousse. It was cute and whatever, but if you want your hair to be not like super full volume, I would say go in with a heavier mousse. This mousse was really light and it was cute for the moment, but I felt like the hair, you know, after a while it was too big. And so I wanted it to be like a little bit less volume, but still full at the same time. So I went in with a heavier mousse like a couple of days later, and yeah, everything worked. It just depends on your preference. So if you want fuller volume, use a lighter mousse, like something that's not going to be crunchy, something that's going to be super lightweight. If you want it to lie a little bit down with less volume, use a heavier mousse. Now, this is a day and a half after I slept with the flexi rods in the front, and actually it wasn't that uncomfortable because it was soft. Like, the whole thing was soft. I didn't feel, you know, like, oh my god, how I'm gonna handle this. Even on my trip, I slept with the flexi rods after like day 3 or something, and it was perfect. So this is what the hair is looking like, and this is what I mean when you use a lighter mousse, it's gonna be a little bit big, like it's gonna have that volume. 3 days after this, I did go in with a heavier mousse, and the hair looks so good. If you want to see how my hair was holding up on my trip, girl, go watch my last vlog to Qatar and later on to Dubai. You would see how my hair held up for the entire trip. So that is your review right there to see how the hair held up. So I went in with some hair oil, something very light, and then this is what the flexi rod is looking at. At first I was scared. I'm like, ooh, is it looking too curly, Sue, right now? Is it looking too curly? But I gotta trust the process because we have to separate and all of that. So I'm just looking at it like, okay, I'm feeling real good about this because my hair is blended with the hair right now. It is so blended. I'm like screaming on the inside with how good it's looking. Now, once everything is out, we're just gonna take some oil on our fingertip, very light oil, and then we're gonna separate the curls. And make sure that you're separating from the roots first so that you don't like did what I just did where you kind of ruin the ends of the curls. And also, if you want to trim this hair, go ahead and trim it, because I realized that after I trimmed it a couple of days later, it was even better with the flexi rod. Like the ends were not like tangled. So give it a light trim at the ends if you wish to, and be very careful when you are like separating the curls. So this is what it's looking like right now, and then I go in with my scissors and just shape it up a bit. And then we're gonna do some little swoop to the dupe. This is optional if you want, like, you know, a little bit more uniform look in the front. I wanted a little bit of swoop, so I went in with my She Balm edge control and it stayed in place. This is what I used for my entire trip. It wasn't too hot, so honestly I don't even know how well this product is holding up right now when it comes to like super hot climate. And then for certain areas, if I like feel like I did too much with like trying to unravel a curl, I just go in with my little wand curl just to touch it up. So just touching up areas here and there, and that is it. This didn't even go on my hair, so this isn't anything that's extra heat. And this is the final look. Let me know what you guys think about this hair. Like, I'm so excited with how it came out. Like, she is big, but not too big. Like, she's giving the right amount of volume. She is blended. She is full. The back is full. Like, how are you gonna tell me this isn't my hair? Like, who is gonna come up to me and tell me this is my hair? Like, the hair is fabulous. Like, I am back to black and I am loving it. Let me know what you guys think about this style. How do you think I did with the technique? Would this be a technique that you would try? The curl pattern, the flexi rods in the front? Let me know. Let me know, because I am ecstatic. All the details will be in the description box down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Go on, big up on yourself. Bye, guys.